podcast made by basketball fans for basketball fans. From the hottest takes, news, analysis, and passion for the sport that we all love, this is the Fast Break Pod with Finn James and Will Tremaine. Welcome into the Fast Break Podcast, the podcast made by basketball fans.
For basketball fans.
Finn James.
Will Tremaine.
Episode 42. 10 away from a year.
Getting there, Finn. We're getting there.
The weeks
rolling
come
them out.
rolling by.
Keep smashing them out one by one.
We do. Holy.
Good on us,
Crazy. As always, a lot to talk about in today's episode. We'll start with some world news, of course. Bit of NBL news for once. It's been a bit dry for the past couple of weeks in free agency. We'll recap the latest in the Sal's NBL, of course. And then we'll dive into the NBA Finals, where it's 2 apiece.
Hopefully we get a Game 7.
After 4 games, which is wildly unexpected. As always, down below, if you want to skip to anywhere in the video, time codes will be there. If you want to skip past any of the boring stuff. Well, not boring, but boring stuff to you. Because all of it's good when you think about it.
Sure.
Let's start with the world news, Will.
A bit of Super Rugby. Chiefs beat the Brumbies 37-17 to book their trip to the final. Despite a rocky start to the playoffs with that loss to the Blues. Managed to bounce back. They get a final now, but it won't be in Hamilton. It'll be in Christchurch because the Crusaders beat the Blues 21-14. I'll let Finn take it away with this one because you actually got to go down to the game, Finn.
I did. I was down in Christchurch for work purposes. Big shout out to Maddie Lloyd from the Crusaders for hooking myself, Guy Havel, and Kyle Mills up with some tickets. Got some unreal seats and got to witness the boys get the job done in front of the Blues. Well, not in front of the Blues, but they got the job done against the Blues in a nail-biter of a game, may I add, too. It went down to the wire, like 6 minutes past 80 minutes. I think the Blues had near 40 phases.
Damn.
And they couldn't score.
What was the atmosphere like in Christchurch?
It was awesome. It was really, like, it wasn't a sellout because, I'll give you the tip, Christchurch is really fucking cold. Like, really cold. So I feel like a lot of people would rather watch at home. However, a lot of diehards are definitely there. We were sitting quite close, and you could tell they were like season ticket holders, and they were excited, and the atmosphere was good. So happy days, they got it done.
Nice.
And Crusaders, Christchurch, Cantabrians, or people of Christchurch, they're different breeds when it comes to supporting their rugby team. So
potentially, Sport Nation could be flying you down for the final this coming week as well.
I highly doubt it.
Really?
Highly doubt it, yeah.
Why they fly you down for the semi then?
Because Guy is a Christchurch, he's from Christchurch, and Millsy's from Auckland, so it was like a feud. So we thought we'd go down and promote
This
it.
is even bigger now, though. It's a
We
final.
don't. Yeah, I guess so, but
Crusaders.
it's also, I think it's a public holiday on Friday. So.
Come on, Sport Nation. Get out the checkbooks. Send your team down to Christchurch to watch the final against the Chiefs.
Honestly, don't even know if I'd want to go back down. Nothing against Christchurch,
You're from Christchurch, mate.
I am from Christchurch.
That's why we don't like Christchurch.
There wasn't, I didn't really have enough time to really do anything. I was honestly just working the whole time.
Oh.
And then even on yesterday morning, my flight was at a bit of a niggly time where I couldn't do anything before going on my flight, so I just kind of hung around and come home. Why are you...
Oh, no.
Anyway, yeah, it was good. Good to get out of Auckland for a bit.
Good on you.
It was a great game. But yeah, Super Rugby final this weekend. I think it's going to be a stellar performance.
I think the Chiefs got this one.
Repeat of the final 2 years ago as well.
Yeah, should be a cracker.
It's going to be close. It's going to be very close.
Be a
I mean, the
good
Chiefs
game.
have had the upper hand all season on the Crusaders in terms of their head-to-head. So
It's a shame it's on Hamilton, actually. I'd drive down to Hamilton to go watch that game.
really,
I reckon. But Christchurch, bit too much of a mission.
yeah, fair.
Bit of cricket as well, Finn. What's
Yeah.
happening in the cricket?
The World Test Championship final started on Tuesday morning or Wednesday morning, early Wednesday morning, late Tuesday night. Wrapped up, I think, yesterday. I think it only lasted 3 or 4 days. There must have been 4 days.
Damn.
It was Australia versus South Africa. Aussie looked very in control majority of this game, and then South Africa had a really good second innings and chased down the total and got the job done. Looked like pretty comfortably in the end. So South Africa finally didn't choke a ICC World Championship final, which they've done many a time. So congratulations to the South Africans.
Well done to them. And last bit of world news. Ryan Fox is in the US Open. He made the cut, but I think he's like +8 currently. And
Yeah, I
the
think
winners
he's 8
are
over.
like 3 under, I think. So
He won't win.
he won't win,
No.
but good job to make the cut.
Yeah.
Impressive.
He'll still
Well
walk
done.
away with a little bit of bit of moolah.
And I mean, he won the Canadian Championship like a week ago.
He did win the Canadian Open.
Second title. Well done to him.
Did you watch the playoff for that?
Putt off, yeah.
God, that was insane.
Yeah. Great work.
They had to replay the hole 4 times.
Yeah. The guy that he beat, Sam Burns, is actually currently leading the US Open. He's 3 under.
Wait, actually?
Yeah, 3 under at the US Open.
There you go.
So, yeah, interesting.
No, good on Foxy, though.
For sure. He's like number 30 in the world now, I think. So
I think he crept up. He won 2 PGA championships this year, which is...
He's skyrocketing through the rankings.
Great form.
Let's get into the NBL news, Finn. A few things to mention. Milton Doyle, he signed with Melbourne United.
Yeah.
So Tassie have lost their other top-tier player, along with Jordan Crawford now. Rocky times for Tassie. But yeah, big pickup for Melbourne United, who lost the likes of Matthew Dellavedova. So with Milton Doyle, should hopefully keep them competitive.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, obviously Delly's gone, but Chris Golding will be returning. Add Milton Doyle, another, good
Veteran.
3-level scorer.
Yeah.
Shea Ely. They obviously lost Rob Lowe, so they lost their big man.
They lost
Marcus
two
Lee still
very
being there.
veteran pieces in Rob Lowe and Matthew Dellavedova.
Yeah.
So I think they'll struggle a bit next year, but should maybe make the playoffs.
I'd be very surprised if they fall out the 6. But what does this mean for Tassie? No Jordan Crawford, no Milton Doyle. Obviously, they signed the new guy from Raptors 905.
It's a big turnaround from bloody where they were a couple years ago, lifting that trophy up.
Yeah.
But hopefully they pick it together and get another couple good import signings. Could be competitive. We'll see. We'll see how good this Raptors 905 guy is. I forget his name. It always
Johnson, I think his last name was.
Yeah.
He looked alright though.
He does.
I think he's going to try to be that new Jordan Crawford piece that they've been missing.
That American guard.
Yeah.
Omari Moore signs with Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Finn, tell us a bit about him. Good signing.
Don't really know much about him. To be honest with you guys, another G Leaguer, I'm pretty sure. Import.
Yeah.
NBL Pleb on Instagram. Great page. You guys should follow him. He has all the insights. This signing was looking like very likely and then wasn't, but now it's official. Apparently a very good 3-and-D type of guy, import player for Southeast Melbourne. Fits Josh King's play style perfectly.
Right.
Super defensive heavy team, obviously Southeast Melbourne when he came in, turned their season around on its head, full 180. I think it's a good signing, to be honest. I don't know much about him, but I mean, Josh King was a great coach last year. He's not going to sign any bums. So I think it's a bit early though. The NBA Summer League is still, I think it's next month, July. I'm surprised teams are pulling the trigger on imports now. I know for a fact the Breakers...
people are going to get signed to the Summer League, so trying to get in there first.
No, but the Summer League's only for... the scouts can go to the Summer League and scout people. That's the whole point of it. I know for a fact, I'm pretty sure... I don't know who from the Breakers spoke. Maybe it was Dylan Boucher. He came out recently and said they're probably not going to sign anyone until after the Summer League. Unless it's PJC, of course, who is in the final in the Lithuanian League right now.
Yeah.
And I heard a rumor from NBL Pleb, of course.
He's coming back, bro.
Apparently, after the Lithuanian season is done, there's a good chance that he's going to be re-signing with the Breakers. I don't know how likely that is, but I feel like a big part of our success next season is writing on whether we get him for another year.
Yeah. That's big time, bro.
Yeah.
Last bit of NBL news.
There's one more thing I want to mention after this.
Perth's new logo.
Oh my god.
Horrible. I'm sorry. It looks disgusting. Why did he get rid of the OG one? That was a tough logo. I like that logo. That was probably top 5 logos in the NBL. Top 3, dare I say. That wildcat, really aggressive looking cat jumping out at you. It was tough. And now they've just gone with the soft little pussycat.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Not necessary at all, to be honest.
Nope.
And all the history they have.
Yeah.
Playing with that, logo, what their franchise.
It's almost like them just doing an FU to Bryce Cotton. We're starting over. We're trying to forget everything about you, Shane Bryce.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too deep into that.
I don't mind rebrands of teams, but
as long as they're good.
As long as they're necessary.
Yeah.
The Magic have a new logo next year.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it. It looks like the Raptors logo.
And I don't like the Clippers new one either. I'm sorry.
From last season.
Yeah. That shit.
I think it's better than our old one.
I actually saw a thing about it, how so many teams are going into these they're all just too basic, circular logos, trying to make it look like a basketball. It's just boring. The Grizzlies logo now is horrible compared to what it used to be. The Vancouver Grizzlies.
Yeah.
That was way more tough. the Raptors logo used to be way better back in the day.
What, the actual Raptor?
Yeah.
That was sick.
The Detroit Pistons with the horse was way cooler. Than what
That was
currently
sick.
have. All these teams' logos are just getting worse, in my opinion.
I agree. Not needed for Perth to change it, but
Everybody in the what's it called? What industry is that who make logos?
marketing. Oh, like graphic design.
Graphic designers.
Graphic
they need to start
design and-
hiring some better graphic
Design and their marketing team would be like all over that, trying to change it.
They suck.
And I remember it came out with a bunch of reasons as to why they had the specific design choices, and it was just in my opinion, just a load of bollocks. I don't think it was even necessary to try and justify the reason for changing the logo. It probably wasn't needed.
Yeah.
One more bit of news before we move on to the Excels NBL. Congratulations to Matt Lacey on being appointed the newest assistant coach for the Breakers for next year. I think that's awesome. North Shore boy as well, by the way. Used to coach the Rosmini Prems team back when we were in school, and has played for North Harbour for many a times too.
Yeah.
Has had things to do with the age groups in New Zealand basketball and coaching, I think, under 19 North Harbour for a while, and then obviously got picked up by the Phi.
Yeah, he's a head coach this year.
He's the head coach at the Phi. Started last season
Right.
as a head coach at the Phi, and then he's getting his shot to take that next step up to the Breakers, which I think is well deserved, to be honest. So really happy
Well
for
done.
him.
But moving on to some NZNBL action.
Mm-hmm.
There's been 5 games this week so far. We're going to miss the last game of the round, which is on tonight, Sunday, our time, between the Sharks and the Bulls down in... where do they play? Invercargill or Dunedin?
Invercargill.
Invercargill. Oh, yeah, of course. The Otago Nuggets at Dunedin. What am I on about? But yeah, we'll run through the games quickly. The scores of this round. We had the Rams beat the Phi 77-68.
So low scoring. That's two really low scoring games for the Phi in a row. Because obviously that was just after they played the Tuatara last round,
59.
where they had
Crazy.
very low scoring.
The Tuatara, speaking of, beat the Jets 89-77 down in Palmy.
Great game for our
Great
boy
game. Yeah.
Dylan
Shout out
Wilkie.
Dill.
17 points off the bench, season high. I think he played 26 minutes, and I think he had 5 to 9 from the 3-point line.
Getting the minutes he deserves.
Played very
should be getting
well.
23 to 28 minutes per game every night.
Great showing from Dill, though. We're all very happy for him, of course.
Player of the game as well. So
Well deserved. Well deserved.
for sure. The Giants beat the Nuggets 96-82.
Man, let's pause on the Giants really quick. They started off the season so poorly.
Making a hunt for that last spot.
Yeah, once they got those new imports in, I think it was Andrew Jones, Jeremy Combs, and Alex Robinson.
Yeah.
They've slowly started pushing their way back into being a competitive team that might sneak into the 6. So we'll do a table update once we run through these scores. They're winning more games they're losing, but they're still losing. But I feel like they're really close.
They're winning record.
Really, really close.
There's a lot of teams. The only teams that are out are the Otago Nuggets and
That's it, to be honest.
the Indian Panthers.
Oh, the Indian Panthers are out the whole league, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the Saints won in
Oh.
a nail biter down in Wellington against the Tuatara.
Did you watch this game?
Yeah, parts of it.
Yeah,
I can't
same
lie.
as
We
me.
had
I
other
didn't
things on.
get to watch it all, but obviously seen the extended highlights, watched the majority of the games.
Yeah.
Great showing from a couple boys, Nick Marshall and Jordan Natai in particular from the Saints. I think combined for almost 60.
No Shea Ili or Isaiah Liafa in this one as well.
Yeah,
so
I don't know
they're a bit
where they
short-handed.
were. Must be injured maybe.
Who knows? We'll get an update.
Yeah. But this game went down to the wire. Boy Tuak with the steal to get the dunk to put them up by
Breakaway
1. Didn't get to watch the end of it, but I saw the box score. I saw like the play-by-play. There was a turnover with about 3 seconds left. And I think there might have been 0.4 on the clock, maybe. And Hiram Harris got the inbound lob tip in. Potentially controversial in my opinion, and I'll tell you why. 0.4 is, in the NBA, they ruled it that 0.4 is the minimum amount of time it is to get off a shot. I don't know if you've ever seen that, Will.
Yeah.
0.4 is very, not a lot of time.
Well, it was a tip in.
He caught it and did, I don't know.
If it was just like a...
It wasn't though. He did catch it and
Yeah, true.
controversial, but the Saints did get up in a nail biter, and
Yeah.
this puts the Saints on just another run. I mean,
Although, for the Tuatara to be within 1 point of that just shows that I think the Tuatara now, with the full team, they've got Zach Riley, they've got Fotu, who have joined the team. Fotu, sorry. So, I mean, they're a deep team. I think they're definitely in contention with the Saints and the Rams. I think those are the top 3 teams, in my opinion.
I reckon the Tuatara are huge dark horses to make a big run in the playoffs. Obviously, I think we're about 3 rounds out until the last round, and then we'll get into playoffs. So about 5 weeks left of the NBL, which has gone super fast, by the way. But that was a nail-biter. Probably game of the round for me.
Yeah, for sure. So close. And then the last game of the round
just wrapped up.
The Airs beat the Hawks 84-72. So big win for the Airs. They're also in for that playoff. I think they're currently in the top 6.
They're
but
third.
Yeah,
we'll run through the table very quickly. But
let's do a quick table update.
Hawke's Bay Hawks missing Jackson Ball. I think he's away with the under 22s 3-on-3 New Zealand team, I think. Something like that. Yeah. And they're on a tour at the moment.
No Dan Greeder either. Don't know what's happened to him.
It's weird. I actually didn't see an update on Dan Greeder not playing this game. So,
but you know who did get minutes? Shout out, former guest of the podcast, Dante Matakatia. He had a nice 9 minutes off the bench. Got here 3 points, 1 for 2 shooting. So
good on him.
Shout out Dante.
And then, like you mentioned at the start, the last game of the round, we have Southland and Franklin. Any predictions for this game? Obviously, Southland are in that contention to be fighting as well. They're currently 6th on the table. The Bulls continue to slide. I think they've lost 6 in a row almost.
Yeah, it's in Invercargill. The bookies do have the Sharks getting up in this one, but I have to go against the bookies, mate. I think the Bulls are due for a win. Maybe that's a bit of bias talking, but I still think the Bulls are... I think they're dark horses still as well, Finn. Just with Kay Hardy, one of the best players in the league, if not the best player in the league. He's definitely up there. He's leading the MVP race. I think they're destined for a win. They can't keep this losing streak going. So I'm going to take the Bulls.
The Flynn Cameron injury ruined them this season. He is so good. It's a shame they lost him.
They've got such a deep team, though.
I know. They've just been riddled with injuries.
Okera, Glogger, that German
dude.
center. They got Tobias
Marcel Jones. Yeah, Tobias Cameron was away with... I don't know if you saw this.
Indigenous All-Star game.
Yeah, in Australia for NBL 1. Do you see Nate Jarwai was playing in that?
Yeah.
I don't know. You know who that is, eh? Yeah, that was his last ever professional basketball game, Nate Jarwai. But Tobias Cameron was over there with a few other players that... I think most of them were from... There's like 3 or 4 of them from the NZNBL and then a few others from some other like teams that weren't playing. I know Tane Samuel was over there who used to play for the Saints, but he's been playing in NBL 1 and things like that. So, honestly, I feel like that kind of went under the radar.
Yeah.
I thought there would have been a little bit more coverage around that, especially in New Zealand. I mean, it's an Indigenous All-Star game. Would have been pretty cool. But yeah, Tobias Cameron was over there for that. I'd assume he'd be back by now. Yeah, and they need him. He's been playing very well for the Bulls this year. In
that game we went to in Pukekohe, the Tuatara versus the Bulls,
he was cool.
He was cooking very well. He hit like a 3 from like...
Deep
it was Dame-esque, you know? Like,
got a nice dunk too.
Deep shooter.
He got a nice dunk.
He did.
Yeah, he's a good player. Him and his brother, man.
Buckets.
Flynn's going to be really good on
Flynn
Adelaide.
Younger than Tobias?
Nah, he's older.
He's older.
Flynn's older. He's a
I don't know why Flynn was coming off the bench and Tobias was starting.
Because I think Tobias has been there the whole year. I think Flynn was somewhere else before.
Maybe they just wanted more...
Well, Flynn was on Melbourne, so he would have been in the NBL playoffs and the NBL finals.
Maybe they wanted more firepower off the bench as well.
Potentially. But yeah, I mean, he might have been struggling with an injury too. I mean, he's been suffering that calf injury the majority of the year. But, I mean, he's on Adelaide next year with Bryce Cotton.
It's a shame we couldn't get him in New Zealand.
I know. He was one of those players I really wanted to.
Anyway, let's do it.
Let's continue. Table update.
Recap of the table. How's it going, Finn?
No surprises here. No surprises here. The Canterbury Rams are 13-2.
Damn.
Top of the table. And closely behind them, the Wellington Saints, who also have 13 wins, but they've played 2 extra games. They're 13-4. Those 2 teams, I think, have definitely locked in 1 and 2 with only about 3 rounds left.
Yeah.
And then the Airs are third with 10 wins. So they're kind of in that middle ground.
10 and
6.
10 and 6, okay.
So then you come to 4th to 10th.
Up in the air.
2 games in it between all of these teams. From 4th, who are the Manawatu Jets, to 10th, who are the Nelson Giants. Manawatu have 8 wins. The Giants have 6 wins.
Damn.
It is that close.
That close.
So all those teams, the Nuggets have 2 wins.
Right.
They're
done.
They're done for, unfortunately. They've had a bit of a topsy-turvy season. But man, it's going to be close. Teams going to be fighting off for that top 6. Obviously, the play-in tournament, just like the NBL, how they do it. Top 2 go through automatically to the semi-finals. They'll have the play-in tournament as normal, but there's still about 3 or 4 rounds left, and you're going to see a lot of movement between the mid-table, and that's what's really exciting about this league.
Yeah,
Looking forward to it for sure.
Let's do our top 3 for the week, Finn.
Oh, yeah.
Fast Break Podcast. I forgot what week we're up to with this.
I think we might be at week 10. 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Week 9 or 10, Fast Break Podcast MVP.
Do you want to get us underway with number 3?
I shall. He made it last week. I'm very sorry. I've been a busy man. Have been lacking on the socials recently. So we might be skipping. We might have skipped a couple of weeks on the old social media, but we'll skip here anyway. Jeremy Combs did make it last week. He might have won it actually from memory.
I think he did.
Jeremy Combs for the Nelson Giants. The win over the Saints, which is huge for it was the Nuggets, sorry. Must have been the Nuggets, my apologies. The win over the Nuggets had 25 points and 11 rebounds, leading all scorers in the game. So, good from him.
Well done. Number 2, we've got Luther Muhammad. 2 games this week. Obviously, the really close loss to the Saints, and then their win against the Jets on this little away tour that they've done to Palmy and Wellington. He had 21-7-8 against the Jets and 26-7-7 against the Saints. So, couple near triple-doubles there for Tuatara's new star guy. Gets him second place.
Super well rounded.
rankings.
Super well rounded from
For
Luther.
sure.
He's been that X factor that they needed when Will Hickey
100%.
left.
Yeah.
Arguably, I think he's fitting their team
Better.
maybe slightly better. I don't know Will Hickey personally at all, but maybe an attitude thing with him on the team might have been causing a few niggles in the team. I think Luther definitely seems like a well-rounded teammate.
We can't
chemistry locker room guy.
speculate. We wouldn't
I
know.
can't.
Finn.
I'm just.
We wouldn't know.
This is what I feel like I can see from body language and the way he talks to his teammates on the court.
Damn, bold take. Who knows? But who's number 1?
Jordan Nartai from the Wellington Saints is at number 1. Had 30 points and 30 points with 5 threes, 11 of 18 from the field in the win over the Auckland Tuatara, and obviously that 1-point win. So a big reason for the boys getting across the line.
Yeah. So that's all for Fast Break Podcast MVP rankings. As always, we're going to calculate that into our rankings.
And by the end of the year,
you'll find out where we're heading in New Zealand to deliver the trophy. But
hopefully to somebody that's still in the country.
Hopefully to somebody that's on either the Tuatara or the Bulls.
Because I don't want to drive down to Invercargill.
No.
Or fly.
No.
Or drive.
I just don't want to go to Invercargill in general, to be honest.
Did you hear that, Southland fans? He doesn't want to go.
Let's get into some NBA action, Finn.
Oh, wow.
There's been 3 games since the last episode. Games 2, 3, and 4. Bit up in the air. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Pacers took that game 1. It kind of rattled a lot of us.
The Halliburton
me
game
saying
winner.
live on the podcast that I'm taking the Pacers in 7 to win this series. I think I've gone back on that opinion of mine so far after what's happened in these last 3 games. But also, your take on the OKC winning 4 straight and winning in 5 didn't happen to be true.
No.
Should we break down each game? What happened in game 2, Finn?
Game 2 was what I expected for this whole finals to be. The Thunder had a blowout win in Oklahoma. Exactly what I thought was going to happen in game 1. Obviously, Tyrese Halliburton had other ideas, despite him not playing the greatest, but, that game winner. But in game 2, Shea really showed out. 34, 5, and 8. 4 steals. That's an MVP.
Yeah.
And Alex Caruso had 20 points. And fun fact about Alex Caruso, he's had 2 20-plus point games in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Guess how many he had in the regular season?
None?
0.
Wait, but both of his 20-point games must have been in this series as well.
Oh.
Because this isn't the only game where he had 20 points.
There you go. He had no 20-point games in the regular season.
Damn.
I think so. You might have to fact check me, but
in the finals.
I'm pretty sure I was listening to another podcast, Numbers on the Board actually, and that's what they said. So
Damn.
I trust their sources.
The Pacers found their scoring from 7 different players who were all in double figures, but no one really stood out specifically.
No, that was the same in game 1. Not a single player over 20 points in both game 1 and game 2.
Maybe that finals MVP award is up in the air for someone to grab from the Pacers team if they're to win it. But we moved to game 3. Indiana won this one as underdogs at home, 116 to 107. They pulled away in the 4th. They were trailing by 5 at the end of the 3rd. So pulled away in the 4th, got the job done as they so often do. Probably the best 4th quarter team. Probably up there as one of the best of all time.
In the playoffs in particular, bro.
In the playoffs,
stupid.
for sure.
It's been stupid.
Just clutch on clutch. But yeah, able to pull away and big win for Indy to go up 2-1. First game at home. Hallie had 22, 9, and 11, so near triple-double for him. Benedict Mathurin, 27 off the bench.
I saw a stat from this guy as
Bucket.
well. He's had 2 20-plus point games off the bench this playoffs, and it's ranked among, top 5 ever.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure.
2 20-plus point games.
4 20-plus point games off the bench in the
off the
playoffs.
bench. And that's top 5 all time.
Might be. In
But
one
surely
playoff run. In one playoff run. Ginobili was on there.
Yeah,
it was in
I was
one
gonna say.
playoff run.
Right.
Mathurin is up there amongst some of them.
Tough.
Which is crazy. The young
They've got
Canadian,
so many
man.
guys off the bench, bro.
This Indiana Pacers team, I'll say it once and I'll say it again. I'll say it until everyone gets sick of me. It's one of the most well-rounded teams we've seen in the playoffs this year. They have one All-Star. And you
Siakam.
wouldn't even call him a superstar.
Siakam.
Would you even call him a star? Would you call him a star?
Siakam.
Yeah. Is he a star? You calling Halliburton a star?
Well, Halliburton's not even technically an all-star, so not this season.
And
at
look,
least.
they're tied 2 apiece in the NBA Finals
They are.
against the 68-win Oklahoma City Thunder team. Jesus Christ.
Siakam added 21 in that Game 3 performance. Shea, J-Dub, and Holmgren all had 20 each, but no one really stood out for
What happened to
OKC.
Shea in this one?
He had 24, so, I mean, it's crazy that we say that's kind of like a bad game for Shea.
He averages 30-something.
Yeah, but like 24 for any other player is like an average game.
It's a good
But for
game. It's
Shea,
a good game in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, but for Shea, 24 was like kind of a poor game, which is crazy. It just speaks to how good he is.
Also, from Game 3, I'd like to give a big shout out to Betcha for giving the freest money of the week. They had a boosted bet. $3 was paying for Jalen Williams and Pascal Siakam to both have 15-plus points each. That is the freest money I've ever seen. If you didn't jump on that, I'm sorry.
Betcha don't sponsor us. Just want to make that very clear. So don't go and
work for them.
gamble.
I do work for them. Nah, you can gamble. R18, of course.
Fast Break Podcast doesn't work for them. So
Fast Break Podcast.
absolutely, and no matter shape or form, do we recommend gambling. It is an unhealthy habit. Only do it to your means. But if Betcha do want to sponsor us, then we will promote gambling all day, every day.
Bet responsibly, R18. That's all I have to say.
Let's break down Game 4, though, Finn.
Yeah.
This one was a must-win for OKC, in my opinion.
Oh,
Can't go
yes.
down 3-1. Obviously, the only man to ever come back from 3-1 is Mr. LeBron James.
The GOAT.
I don't think it's going to happen probably
GOAT.
for the foreseeable future. For the
GOAT.
next 60 years. Who
The
knows?
GOAT.
We'll get your point, mate. Yeah, but Thunder got the job done. Tied the series up 2-2 in Indiana. 111-104 win. They were trailing for most of this game.
I know.
Shea popped off in the fourth quarter, had 15 of his 35 points in the fourth. Absolute bucket. No assists, though.
And he just summoned his inner Kobe Bryant for this one, I think is what I'm going to say.
Got to the free throw line.
Does he ever get to the free throw line? Would I call him a free throw merchant?
He's not
No,
even, bro.
they're fouling him.
Yeah.
For all you NBA casuals that say Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a glorified free throw merchant and only lives at the line, the other team fouls him. He's good at drawing fouls, slightly unethical, but if he wants to score points, it's the way to do it. And speaking of
The refs call it.
ethical hoops, though, Tyrese Halliburton hasn't. I don't think it was leading into Game 4. He hadn't attempted a single free throw in the NBA Finals. Crazy, eh?
Fair. But, I mean, it's not his game. He doesn't drive. He doesn't go for,
No.
like, contested layups where he's going to get fouled.
Of course not.
Caruso had another 20-piece off the bench in this game. So that
Damn.
must be the other one that you saw in this stat. So his 2 20-point games of the entire season have come in the NBA Finals. That's insane. J-Dub had 27 as well. So 3 guys.
He needs
really
to step up. If the Thunder
led the
want to, the Pacers have proven it now that if the whole Thunder team isn't firing, they're gonna be a challenge. J-Dub needs to do this every game for the rest of the series if they want a chance of winning.
Really? 27? Damn.
I reckon 24 plus. He needs to score a game.
Okay.
That might be even too many.
I think 20. I think he only needs to get 20.
Well, if
Shea's
Chet's
35.
also up there as well, then yes. But I think if Chet's having a stinker, like he had 6 points in Game 1, and look what happened, they lost. J-Dub needs to support Shea in the scoring department.
I'm calling it here now. Game 5 in OKC. Shea's dropping 40. 43. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander drops 43 in OKC Game 5 to lead them to a 3-2 lead.
That's on Tuesday.
It is.
It's on Tuesday.
It'll be a day after this episode comes out. And yeah, by next week's episode, we're probably going to be done.
Maybe.
Should be 3 games done. Unless
a good
it's maybe a
chance.
Game 7.
There's a good chance that it'll be done.
Few more stats from Game 4. Siakam had a 4x5. 5 steals in this one. 19 as well. I think, for me, personally, I think he's leading the Pacers in terms of finals MVP rankings.
Yeah.
I think so far he's
Halliburton's
just ahead of Halliburton, who's not had the best series.
been too inconsistent. And that's something that he's sort of struggled with the entire playoffs.
Apart from that one game winner, he hasn't really done much
In the finals.
in the finals.
Oh, you had a near triple-double in Game
Oh, true. Yeah, that was a good game. But yeah,
feel
he
like-
had 18. He had 18 in this one.
Yeah.
5 turnovers, 1 for 7 from 3. So, yeah, but
I think the thing that I've
I'm
noticed,
ignoring.
the thing about Halliburton that isn't probably going to work. I mean, obviously there's 3 games left in the NBA Finals. He's only really had one great game, you could say.
22, 9, and 11.
I think when you watch Halliburton play, he takes a while to get into it. I
Yeah.
feel like by the fourth quarter, he's kind of like not really
rhythm.
sort of gone in a rhythm. Like he hasn't really like sat back or whatever, but he reads the game, and by the fourth quarter, I feel like he's like grasped an understanding, and that's when he starts popping off. Where I feel like in the NBA Finals, from the get go, you got to be aggressive. Like from the tip off, you got to start trying to get buckets, man. But there's some times where he's only taking about 6 field goals by halftime. Your second option, arguably first option. Obviously, he's not the best scoring option on their team because he's one of the best passers in the NBA. But he still needs to get ball and hoop, and he's just not aggressive enough.
Yeah. I agree, 100%. I think I'm going to make a bold take here.
Go on.
I know I picked the Pacers after game 1 of the episode last week. I picked the Pacers to win this series in 7. I think their black magic has finally ran out. I think the Thunder are going to close it out in 6. I think they win back-to-back games to end this series, in my opinion. I think Game 5 in OKC is a lock for them. And then I think they get the job done on the road in Indiana. That's my take.
Okay.
What about you, Finn? Any new predictions?
Well, I was sitting thinking that the Thunder would win 4 in a row. And other than Game 2 being a blowout, the games have still been close. Like yesterday's Game 4 was still very close until, I'd say, the last 3 minutes. And obviously, Game 3 was relatively close. And it just goes to show you that the Pacers are still here. Like they're gonna hang around. I think it's gonna go. Obviously, I had the Thunder in 4.
Yeah.
1 on 4 and 5.
Yeah, they're winning 4 straight.
Yeah. I think it's a tricky one. I think it goes 7 games.
I want it to go 7 games.
Why do you? Of course you. It's the NBA Finals.
Yeah, we haven't had a 7-game series since LeBron 3-1 comeback.
Really?
Yeah, I was
I
looking
didn't
at it the
even
other
think
day.
of that.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, I mean, last year's finals was a snooze fest. Jeez, it was boring.
If
I think
ever.
I don't know who gets it done. I think it goes 7 games, and I don't know if you can beat OKC at home twice in the NBA Finals. So I guess I have to give it to OKC.
Yeah.
Shea will win the Finals MVP award.
What a year! Western Conference Finals MVP, Finals MVP, MVP.
All NBA first team.
That's hoping that OKC wins, which I do hope they win. Because we all know my dislike for the Indiana Pacers and one man in specific. But anyway, we'll catch you guys again next week. The finals could be over.
It probably will be.
Yeah. Game 7 will probably be done, even if it goes to Game 7. But as always, thank you for tuning in. And see you next week.